All right, pushing Kaylee to do another episode here with episode 19 of season 7, Hollywood AD.
This is a fun episode.
This is funny. This is a fun episode. This is definitely one of those episodes that I wish the show had more of.
Yes, for sure.
Now we get a little. I think it's on the tombstone, or maybe it's the director. I can't remember where we say this, but we see Alan Smithy his name,
Mm.
which for anybody who isn't like a film nerd, Alan Smithy is the name that's given to projects that directors have. They've petitioned, and they've actually taken it to like a board to have their name removed from a film because they have to prove that
like it was changed
so much that their vision wasn't met.
Yeah.
And it's only happened like there's not a lot of films that have directors have been able to achieve this.
Yeah.
I know Hellraiser 4 is one of the films in the horror genre, and it's kind of it's always fun to see, and when I see it I'm like, oh boy, if I ever throw on a film and I see directed by Alan Smithy as it starts, I'm like, oh shit, we're in for something here. How's this gonna be? Which it's funny because I actually quite like Hellraiser Bloodline, but I've never seen this assembly cut or whatever it is that was recently released. That's supposed to be like the director's, like closer to the director's vision.
I'm very curious about that. I would love to watch that.
Yeah. So anyway, we have good old Gary Shandling in here, which casting him as Mulder
funny.
So for those of you who just watch these videos and aren't watching the episodes with us, this episode is about a screenwriter who is a friend of what does he call him?
Skin Man.
Yeah. Skinner. And he follows Mulder and Scully around on their case and is like taking notes, and then the episode actually starts in the future after the movie has been made, and it's ridiculous. But then we flash back and we see the writing process, and then Mulder and Scully like come out to Hollywood to be there for the premiere of it, and it's pretty funny. I mean, having Tia Leone be Scully, who's like this gorgeous woman, and then Gary Shandling, who's like this obviously super obnoxious, nerdy, unattractive guy, be Mulder is just super funny to me.
It is really funny. I love watching the scene, like just the scenes that we get from the movie when he's like in the graveyard. And
Felt like
just,
a Buffy the Vampire
it
Slayer
did.
episode.
It did. It's so dramatic and so ridiculous. And I love, of course, like seeing Mulder and Scully's like reactions in the movie theater, because at the end, obviously, actually, I think it's in the beginning too. But anyway, we get their reactions to like what they're watching on screen, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it's interesting because like the actual X file that's being investigated is about like a piece of like not, well, pottery, but like it's like the Lazarus sound or something, where it's like they can play it like a
music,
like a record. Like a record, and it basically like resurrects people. Which is actually like a really interesting
it's
idea.
Kind of a shame that it was thrown away in this episode.
This one was written by David Duchovny, right?
Written and directed. Yeah.
So that he writes a lot and directs a lot of the fun ones. I feel he really likes to be goofy, which is fun.
Yeah. The writer of this, like the writer in this, supposedly, from what we see of through his eyes, I don't know, the guy is an unreliable narrator to say the least, but he sees like bones moving and coming together and dancing on their own.
That's so funny.
That's like crazier than anything Scully's seen in 5 years, 100%. 7 years of being with Mulder.
I have to only imagine that he is like overactive imagination.
Yeah.
and doesn't actually see that. But it all of it when like he shows up at Skinner's office and Skinner's like he's got to come on a case with you guys and like shadow you because he's gonna make a movie or whatever. Just him being there is very silly.
Yeah. We also find out that Mulder loves to watch Plan 9 from outer space.
Yes.
And Scully recognizes it by sight. She walks in and is like, Plan 9 from outer space. Kind of shocking to me. Once again, this just proves that
Scully
Scully's a
watches
horror
horror
fan.
movies.
She
Yeah.
knows Chucky. She knows The Exorcist. She knows Freddy. She's
Yeah.
like, she's on her game when it comes to the horror genre. And then she asks him how many times he's seen it. I think he says something like 37 or something.
Yeah.
And she's like, that's sad, Mulder. And he's just like, no way.
She's like, it's really, really sad.
Yeah.
It's funny, her reaction.
You know, and of course Ed Wood being brought up in an episode where they're made into this terrible film adaptation of their life.
Yeah.
Since Ed Wood made like arguably the worst like biopic in Glen or Glenda, which of course is where Chucky's son and daughter got his name from. But that movie is fucking wild. Ed Wood is my favorite Tim Burton movie. I fucking love it. I think it's his absolutely most overlooked film in his filmography. I feel like almost no one ever discusses it when talking about Burton because it's so un-Burton-esque. I guess Big Eyes would probably be the least big Tim Burton movie I've ever watched. It feels nothing like Tim Burton. If you never told me he directed, I probably would never think it in a million years. But I love Ed Wood.
I've actually never seen Ed Wood.
Oh man,
so we should watch it sometime.
We gotta watch it. It's so great, and it would be something that I would be fine reviewing on the channel, even though it's a comedy. It's literally like a biopic of like a horror director, and the entire film is about him making horror movies. So I think there's enough horror to discuss.
Yeah.
But it would be really fun to not only do that, but also instead start by doing like, some reviews of his films.
Yeah, right? That would be cool.
Bride of the Monster and Plan 9 from Outer Space and the things that he made leading up to an Ed Wood retrospective.
Yeah, that would be fun. I'd be down to do that.
Yeah, for like Monster Mondays or whatever. So maybe look forward to that in the future.
If we ever
will definitely laugh our ass off.
Yeah, right now we're still technically doing
Christmas?
No.
Oh, it's alive.
It's alive. We haven't done the Island of the Alive
Nobody
yet.
gave a fuck about the second one. Like 100 people watched that. It's the lowest rated Monster Monday of all time by far.
You should just ask and be like, should we watch Island of the Alive or not?
Yeah, how many of you care?
If everyone is like, no, don't do it, or like, I don't care. Then we can just skip it.
I'm honestly shocked how little people cared about
those are silly, stupid movies, but
yeah, but people typically like Monster Mondays and Slasher Sundays. People just watch them, because they're Monster Monday and Slasher Sunday.
Don't like babies.
Guess they don't. You baby haters.
Baby haters.
Anyway, so
there's also a really funny scene when they do go to Hollywood because they get like in trouble.
Oh.
Well, I don't want to skip anything.
No, you're fine.
But like they get in trouble, and so like Skinner puts them on like, I think it's like 6 weeks or something of like paid leave, like forced leave. And so they're like, all right, like, let's go to California. And like when they show up to the set and
the running,
yes. And she like asks Scully like, how do you run in those heels? Which is so funny because we are constantly like looking at Scully when she's running or like whatever, and she's always wearing heels. She always has heels on.
Yeah.
And she like takes her aside and is like asking her, the actress.
Yeah.
And then we just see like while Mulder's talking to whatever his name
Gary
is.
Shamley.
Yeah, like in the background, Scully's just like sprinting like back and forth like so many times. And she's like on the phone The
She's not
actress
paying
isn't
attention
even
to her
paying
at
attention. And
all.
Scully's just like literally sprinting, like running so fast back and forth.
I
It's so
as
funny.
funny as it is, like Dana Scully is not an idiot, and
She would be
she
like,
demands to be
"You're
taken
not
seriously.
watching me."
100%.
Yeah, I
She
know.
would have ran for about 2 seconds before she looked over and been like, this girl's not even paying
I
attention.
know. It's literally just supposed to be a
So
gag, which
it's a gag
it's
for
funny.
sure,
It
but
is very funny.
Scully would never do it.
It's
I
kind of
think what we're
funnier
supposed to
because Scully would
say,
never do it.
I think what we're supposed to think there is that they're both being like intoxicated
By
by
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
I think so too, because I think that they're kind of like, we've never had a movie made about us, but which is funny because they just had like not that long ago, the cops episode where they were
Yeah.
like on TV and
Yeah.
Scully was not about that.
No.
But I agree. I think that you can maybe explain it by them being like a film is being made about us and Scully like wants her to be accurate to to like performing as her. So she's like, this is how I run. So funny
But
though.
Scully's the one that seems to think the movie's funny, and Mulder's like horribly offended by it,
Mulder's super offended, and
and then he
he asks
freaks
him
out.
something though that I like didn't understand that I think is supposed to be like either asking Mulder like he's like which way do you lean? And I was really do you remember this line that I'm talking about? I don't understand what he's asking. I don't understand if he's asking is he gay or if he's asking like which hand he uses to masturbate with. Like I was so confused by that line. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I don't
don't
remember
know
like the rest of the conversation, but I just remember that like that was said, and
how big your dick.
I don't know what it was about. I was just like, I don't get it. But yeah, Mulder when oh my god, he's horrified.
Well, he finally like stands up to leave because
Yes.
he's so angry because Scully wants to be with Skinner in the movie,
Yes.
and that's the last straw
Yeah.
for
He's
Mulder.
like, come on, I'm not gonna sit here.
Yeah.
So
It's
funny.
funny to
And
me
Skinner
that
like looks back and is like, because who plays Skinner? Remember, because like he asked the writers like asking Mulder like who would you want to play you or something,
oh
and
right,
Mulder says
Richard Gere.
Richard Gere, and then later on we find out that Richard Gere is supposedly playing Skinner, which is really funny.
Yeah.
Like
not only is Richard Gere playing him, but Scully wants to be with Richard Gere.
Yes.
You know who Skinner is.
Yeah.
In this, and then
Skinner
Skinner has some like hot
babe
number with him.
I know.
I thought him and his wife got back together, right? We had speculated maybe they got back together.
Maybe that was just I don't know.
No, Skinner was definitely.
I guess they're not together then.
Yeah, he was in Hollywood living it up on the red carpet. He was like, I gotta have arm candy for this premiere.
Maybe that was his wife, and we just forgot what she looked like.
That like 20-something-year-old.
Yeah, she de-aged.
100% not his wife.
Yeah, but their reactions are just super fun, and it's such a ridiculous. And then yeah, like he goes off to the set afterwards, and like she comes over, and they kind of like have a moment, and he puts the bowl, which is like what the Lazarus note is on, and it like hits something like a tree branch, I think. One of the fake trees hits it, so it starts playing, and then all these bodies that are underneath Hollywood underneath the set, underneath whatever, it's just come up and they all start dancing.
Yeah, there's a full like Indian dance number at the end here with
doesn't he have like he has some conversation with Scully about how I'm pretty sure it's him, but about how like zombies, like we always like they like their whole thing is like people being brought back to life, like the first thing that they want to do when they're alive is like eat things. Like it's like all about like I'm in a body again, like I want physical pleasures, so like eating stuff. And he's like eventually like if we just like left it, they'll be dancing, like that's what they'll want to do. I don't remember if it's him that says it or I don't know who says that.
Like a Mulder thing to
but
say.
Yeah, then obviously now these like zombies come back and they're dancing, which the Bones also danced.
So, they just want to dance.
I don't know. It's a goofy episode. It's very fun.
Yeah.
So
that's that. And let us know if you want us to cover Ed Wood or if you watched this or anything. All right. Bye.